Hey everyone, welcome back to Bots and Bevs, our new web series where we talk about everything automation and share some of our favorite beverages. This week I sit down with Craig Schneider and we're going to dig into the infrastructure and the platform side of things. Hope you enjoy this episode. Hello everybody and welcome back to Bots and Bevs, our ongoing video series where we discuss everything RPA. Once again, I'm Mike Gray, CTO of VerticalApps, and I'm very excited today to be on with Craig Schneider, our VP of Technology. Hey Mike. Craig, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much.
Cheers, these are
Yeah, it's 100 degrees out.
It is very hot. Clearly. And that is good, but we'll get into these a little bit later. So why don't we just start by tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I come to VerticalApps with extensive experience building and deploying major complex applications in the government space. So I'm bringing a lot of that software development best practices to the RPA world.
I love it. I love it. So for today's episode, we're going to dig into more about the infrastructure and platform that supports RPA. Are you going to be ready for that?
I hope so.
All right. So we'll start off kind of high level, kind of easy. I hear everybody talking about bots all the time, everywhere. But what I don't hear people talking about is how do bots get into production? What does that platform look like?
Yeah, that's right, Mike. Bots don't deploy themselves. It's a very controlled environment.
True, I can see that. But nonetheless, nobody's ever explained what does the back end of a RPA infrastructure look like?
Yeah, well, it looks a lot like a normal software development process with a heavy dose of DevOps. You have to write code to automate the automation platform.
That's interesting. All right, well, let's not bullshit around.
All right, Mike.
COTS versus SaaS, what's my better option?
Yeah, so COTS, commercial off-the-shelf software with a platform like UiPath, means you're installing on-prem or in a cloud environment like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud.
All right.
Cloud templates, infrastructure as code, allow you to define the server resources you need as code and run automated scripts to install the software.
Yep.
You control the server resources underneath, and in a UiPath environment, it requires hands-on expertise with Linux and Kubernetes. Ooh. So government agencies like this approach because it allows them to have control over the servers, the data, and also the integration with their enterprise security and logging systems. SaaS, software as a service, on the other hand, you click a couple buttons on a website and you're up and running. You're not responsible for the underlying software installation or the server resources, but there are major caveats. Obviously, this is faster, but with a government agency, they need to see FedRAMP authorization for that SaaS provider, especially if there's sensitive data being processed.
Well, that makes sense. That SaaS options sounds very appealing, especially if they've got the FedRAMP. A lot of what you've talked about, when you think about low code, no code, this sounds a lot more like software development. So got a two-parter. Is this actually software development and are there pipelines?
Yeah, so throughout my career, I've toggled between Java, Python, Ruby development. Mike, I'm a high code guy in a low code world.
Nice.
There are absolutely pipelines running our automations.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Pipelines automatically configure the environments. For UiPath, for example, there are thousands of customizations users can make through the web interface. This allows a non-programmer to easily set up the system and make their changes. But Mike, imagine what happens when you have many environments and your user base and developer base expands.
Doesn't sound good.
No, your customizations on the platform expand exponentially. And all of a sudden you can't keep up and you're making manual configuration changes in the app. So what do? You automate it. You write the code to use the platform APIs, build the pipelines, so that you're applying all your changes to the environments automatically through a pipeline. It's all tracked, it's consistent, and you reduce any chance for errors in setting up the system. Just recently, we had an unplanned incident where we lost hundreds of key value pair assets that our bots use. With our pipelines, we were able to restore that data in under a minute.
Walk me through, how do we get a bot into production?
Yeah, so the pipeline build process kicks off automatically every time developers commit code and push it up to version control. The pipelines automatically build the bot packages, test, run quality scans, run security checks for vulnerabilities, and then deploy it to the environments. We have a one-click production deployment process where we can deploy during the day at any time with no outage.
Dude, that's impressive. So, I mean, from everything I've heard, it sounds like there's no way we could do citizen development without this capability.
No, not a chance. But that's a topic for Chris Young. You'll have to put him on the show.
Craig, all right, let's get to my favorite part of this whole thing because I keep going back to this. This week's a little different. I brought the drink for Craig and I. So we did a maple old fashioned. I'm a big whiskey guy. Just this one's pretty whiskey forward, so cheers.
Cheers, Mike. That's strong.
It's pretty good, right? All right, so sincerely, thank you for your time today. We learned a lot. You covered stuff that I don't think a lot of people talk about, so I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Awesome, man. Good stuff.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.